I got married recently, at least somewhat recently. Believe it or not. I thought y'all would clap for that, but I guess fuck me, I guess, right? No, but for real, I mean, something I learned real quick about marriage that no one ever explained to me is that for all intents and purposes, marriage is basically just slow motion identity theft. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever, like, accidentally absorbed someone else's personality by proximity. That's basically all there is to it, you know? Just a couple of motherfuckers gentrifying each other emotionally slowly over time, piece by piece, bit by bit. Because when you get married, you don't just exchange vows, y'all. No, you exchange quirks. You exchange bad habits. You exchange minor mental illnesses like little charms on a friendship bracelet. Luckily for me, though, like, my wife's quirks, the ones that I'm absorbing, they're useful, right? Like, we're talking like, wakes up at a reasonable hour, pays the bills on time, knows where all the important documents are. Meanwhile, my quirks, bless her heart, and shit like being way too emotionally invested in Dragon Ball Z at the age of 41, knowing the first and last names of every judge that's ever been on the People's Court, and knowing what years Abe Lincoln had syphilis. 1846 to 1848, by the way, if you guys were curious. You know, useless shit, pointless shit. Shit just makes things harder, not easier. That's a fact. But eventually, I mean, yeah, it doesn't even take that long before marriage just becomes one person noticing the other person's weird ass processes. And I mean, you know, one day my wife just kind of came to her senses. It was like, wait, what the fuck are you doing? And in that moment, you gotta look them in the eye and somehow explain the weird shit you do when you don't even realize what's weird about it anymore. You've been doing it for far too long to have any sort of perspective on this. Like in my, for example, my weird process, back when I was a lesser man, back when I was living up in Bachelortown, was to put trash in the freezer. And in my defense, like, I was and always have been a complete fucking idiot. And I guess like back then, like I'm talking like the trash that would get really gross if you happen to leave it out too long. You know what I mean? My solution was just freeze that shit. Boom, problem solved, I thought, right? Like, I somehow convinced myself it was science. I was like, oh yeah, this is physics straight up. I guarantee it's like an equation like rock beats paper, cold beats stink. X to the power of something, you know. But no, it turns out, according to my wife, I was just too lazy to take out the trash. But in my head, I was like a fucking like garbage Batman. Just like running a little lab test, doing like saving evidence. You know what I mean? But no, when you get married, you got all of a sudden got to be accountable to somebody. You know, all of a sudden you got a lady in the room holding a bag of trash, talking about why is this next to the chicken, and you ain't got no excuses at that point. Like when you see it, like you say it out loud, and you realize like, oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, no, I understood now. Yes, if I want to be allowed outside in front of other people, you gotta stop putting trash in the freezer. Gotcha. Good safety tip, Egon. But I mean, I think the saddest part about marriage is that you do, like, I'm starting to notice the identity theft like happening in real time. Like with me, it's kind of like it's celebrated, right? Like as I'm becoming more and more responsible, at the very same time, she's becoming more and more goblin. Both of us against our will. But only one of us is having a good time. I mean, for real, the other day I caught her being sneaky. Like, she was eating a can of tomato soup, like, straight up out the can, cold, with a plastic spoon. And when she was done with it, what she had left over, she just thought she could put that shit in the fridge. No lid, no nothing. Like, I wouldn't notice. I noticed. I was like, excuse me? He's like, oh, I'm going to eat that later. I'm like, no, you're not. We all know you're going to eat that later. Like, I thought that's what we was resolving here, you know what I mean? Like, I thought we put that shit in the trash. right? Or at least I thought we had the decency to put that shit in the freezer. All right, y'all, thank you so much. I'm done. I gotta go. Actually go perform this shit. That's fucking 5 minutes though. Oof. I love you.